Oh, man, I'd forgotten to wish you a happy Bubble Bath Day, SmackDown. That's our hashtag holiday today.
Oh, it is.
We should have saved the Calgon thing for today. And you should have gone to the big and tall bathtub shop so we could do what we were planning to do last weekend.
So I'm going home this weekend. We got a swimming pool at the house.
That's a bathtub, right?
Oh,
it's just a big one.
I just get what's the little floating dolphin that you play with when you're the Shamu dolphin thing.
Good. So let's bring Aaron Torres on with that thought. AT, last week I taught SmackDown about Calgon Take Me Away, and I told him because the best way to put away the worst year that we can remember, or one of the more depressing years, is by taking a wonderful bubble bath and forgetting about everything. And then today is National Bubble Bath Day, so you get the image of SmackDown, who is 300 pounds in a bubble bath by himself.
Wow. That's a heck of a way to ring in 2021, guys. I thought we were just going to talk basketball and football, but I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say other than that I'm disgusted and I probably won't eat for a while. So thanks for that, though.
No, it'd be a show. I ended up not doing it because I didn't fit into my bathtub. And you're gonna have to pay to have me show a little bit of leg. So I told Phil no, I couldn't do it.
Oh, okay. See, now that's a man that has standards and yes. Some self-respect. So I appreciate. Are you going to start an OnlyFans page or what's the deal? What's the next step?
I'm going back and forth on it. I need the money, so I may do that.
Has there ever been an OnlyFans reference on this show?
Listen,
I don't think so.
The one thing I will say. There's someone out there for everybody. So there's ladies out there that are into the 6'8", 320-pound type or whatever you are. I don't know what you are. Listen, if you're not on the show next week, you can thank me. I want at least 25% of the cut because I think I'm the one that pushed you over the edge on this one.
Absolutely.
So.
If that happens, you can be the officiant at the wedding, or you can be my best man.
I don't want to be an officiant in anything. I just want to cut of your OnlyFans check. I hear everyone's making millions.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Okay,
I didn't realize that this conversation was putting you guys in business together. So I guess I'll get a subscription to the page.
He owes me some money because I wagered on him on the taco eating contest. Then he's drinking pitchers of beer 3 minutes before tip-off. So whatever. So he owes me some money. So when you start that OnlyFans page, I'll take 25%. No big deal.
Well, you bring that up. So Ty is wanting me and him to team up for an eating contest now. And I'm going back and forth on the idea if I should or not. Do I need to team up with Ty Richardson for an eating contest? Not going against each other, but apparently somewhere south of here in Arkansas, there is a 10-pound chili dog. And you get two people and you can eat it in 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically, this is the problem with, I know you guys don't talk a bunch of NBA on this show, but the NBA's made your generation soft.
That's true.
Everybody thinks they can't do it on their own. They got to team up. KD and Kyrie, LeBron and Dwayne Wade, Anthony Davis. Can't get the job done yourself, so you're going to go team up with somebody else. I don't like it. I think if you're man enough to eat a 30-pound weenie or whatever it was, then you should go ahead and do it.
Good. Time-honored tradition.
Man up.
Time-honored tradition. In the day and age of food free agency, it's all about if you can't beat them, join them.
After I let AT down, I'm going to respect that opinion.
AT, let's get into some hoops here. You got SEC basketball tomorrow, and Alabama and Auburn. I am surprised to see that these two teams are on opposite sides right now of the SEC standings. And the standings don't mean anything, but Alabama 3-0, Auburn 0-3. Is Alabama as good as they've looked during this 4-game winning streak?
Well, it was funny because in the preseason, I think most people, including myself, had Kentucky, Tennessee in some order, and then it was Alabama, Arkansas, LSU, maybe Florida in that next tier. And so, Alabama was in that back end of the top 25 conversation, like maybe Arkansas was. Maybe Arkansas wasn't there after the Isaiah Joe stuff. But, I bring it up because I think people were high on Alabama. But also, if you go back to last year, there was a lot of excitement about Alabama, and they struggled. And so, what I give Nate Oates credit for is there was something that happened in that locker room. I'm not sure exactly what, but they were 6-3 coming out of the out-of-conference portion of play. Something happened, and he suspended two of his starters, including John Petty, who's the guy that's been around forever. Everybody kind of knows him in the SEC. They suspended him for something, and when they came back, they've been a completely different team, 3-0. In the SEC, they have a win in Knoxville, which I know we'll talk about Arkansas's trip there in a couple minutes, but a win in Knoxville. And they're looking good so far. And by the way, they beat the brakes off of Florida the other night as well. So, yeah, I think they're there. And the one thing I would say really quick, one, they've recruited at an extremely high level like Arkansas. It's funny, we always talk about Coach Muss kind of completely flipping over his roster since he got there. Nate Oates has basically done the same. But the thing was, they shot a lot of threes last year. They scored a lot last year, but they didn't defend. And through the first couple games this year, it appears as though they're doing it. So it's an exciting time for SEC hoops, man. I think there's about 6-7 really interesting, intriguing teams. And this is one game definitely, Phil, on my calendar that I have circled for tomorrow.
And certainly Tennessee right now, top-ranked team in the conference. And Arkansas, you walk away from the loss against Tennessee thinking, you know what? I mean, Tennessee wins the game at the foul line for the most part, and just a really good defensive team, and did expose a little bit of the lack of strength or physicality for Arkansas because that is the way Tennessee plays. They blocked a lot of shots. They were able to force a lot of turnovers, but still, I mean, you walk away from that game and it felt like Arkansas was that close, but this is a team that's got to win the close games now.
Well, yeah, no, my biggest takeaway was, it was kind of funny because a couple of things. One, I thought Arkansas played better than I anticipated and lost. I thought Tennessee looked a little sloppier than I thought, and they won. But the difference between the two teams, Tennessee didn't beat themselves. And the one thing with Arkansas, the last two games in those two losses, it's the fixable things that are plaguing them right now. It is against Missouri, you guys don't need me to tell you, it was missed bunnies and layups around the basket, which obviously Justin Smith would have helped. And then the other night it was a turnover. And it was also, for whatever reason, Moses Moody not being involved. I'm sure Coach Muss has addressed it. I don't know what the exact reason was, but obviously when he only gets 5-6 shots, whatever it was, and you turn the ball over 20 times, you're not going to win very many games. And so in a lot of ways, listen, I'm not saying this because I come on your show every week. I think there's reason for optimism coming out of that Tennessee game. I thought the game plan was right. Attack. They were finishing around the rim. You get a bunch of points off Vance Jackson that nobody could have predicted because, he was in the doghouse for whatever reason a few games ago against Missouri. And so I look at that game as a net positive coming out. But at the same time, it can't be moral victories, not in this season, not in the SEC, not in a year where you have a team good enough to make the NCAA tournament. You got to start capitalizing and getting some W's. But my biggest take from all of this is that I really think that it was mostly Arkansas's own mistakes. It wasn't talent. It wasn't issues of that nature, if that makes sense.
Aaron Torres joining us here on Halftime AT. We won't talk to you until next Friday, so we've got the national championship. Hopefully going to have a national championship coming on Monday, barring COVID issues with Ohio State. Let's assume that we are having it. Who are you going with? Are we going with Alabama or Ohio State?
Yeah, well, I think the thing that you just brought up is what kind of has to be looked at is are we going to get a fully healthy Ohio State team? And I think that is one of the reasons that I think that's one of the reasons where it's really hard to kind of handicap this game is because I don't think any of us know what Ohio State is going to look like until probably a couple minutes before kickoff. I would say, obviously, look, Justin Fields was the story coming out of the college football playoff semifinal. But when I look at that game, what stood out to me was the defensive line. I mean, they just bullied Clemson up front. Trevor Lawrence, there was a point in that game, I swear, guys, I was like, they got to get Trevor Lawrence out of there. He's going to get killed. They're down 21 points with 5 minutes to go, and he's going to get killed if they don't get him out there. So to me, to hear the reports that, we're talking about the potential for, multiple players off that defensive line out, that would worry me for Ohio State. If both teams are somehow at full strength, I would still lean Bama, but I think it'll be competitive. The idea that we spent 2 weeks kind of saying, Ohio State has no chance against Clemson, only for them to win by 21, and now we're going to repeat that cycle and say, Ohio State has no chance against Alabama, just feels weird to me. So, Matt, you bring up what is the most important point, which is we're talking about, potential major roster upheaval at Ohio State with the COVID stuff. But if they're at full strength, I think it's going to be a competitive, fun national championship game, two pretty balanced teams.
Is it going to be the defensive line that you think could give Ohio State the edge to try to pull out the victory? Obviously, Justin Fields needs to play his best game ever, and he was even said after the game that hit he took in the Clemson game, just every throw hurting, and you could tell that he was hurting in several of those images that ESPN was putting out. Is it the defensive line that's going to be the difference for Ohio State to keep them in the ballgame, or are you looking elsewhere for give them the best shot to win?
I do think it's the defensive line. I'll tell you why, Matt. I don't think a lot of people know this. Ohio State secondary just wasn't very good this year, and they were actually at one point, I don't know if they finished the season, they were the worst-ranked secondary, worst-ranked passing defense in the Big Ten. And part of that was, Indiana had a field day against them. It's a small sample size. They only played 6 games, over the course of a 12-game season. Would they have finished in last place? Who knows? But, they were pretty bad. They were pretty legitimately bad in the secondary, but we didn't see that against Trevor Lawrence because the defensive line did such a good job of getting pressure on him that he didn't have time to find his receivers downfield deep. And so I do think for Ohio State that's the key, because if your secondary is weak, the best way that you can help them out is by getting good pressure on the quarterback, all that kind of stuff. And so it'll be interesting, and it's so funny because we're, 72 hours or so from kickoff, and unless, Ohio State's pulling a fast one, I had heard even before this was announced, or, the reports first came out that Ohio State might be having some COVID issues internally. And so it's kind of crazy to be 72 hours out and not having a great idea of what each roster will look like. But, yeah, I would say, Matt, yes, I would say that right now I think if Ohio State's secondary is banged up, that is a major, major advantage for Alabama.
We don't really get into a lot of NFL with you, but obviously we got the wild card starting up this weekend. Who are you looking at here as we get closer and closer to getting to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's funny. I've obviously, because of my Fox Sports Radio, I do watch a lot of NFL. It's just, I'm not really, I don't tweet about it or whatever. And the team that's really intriguing to me, and maybe it was because I was working that Monday Night Football game where they broke Bill Belichick, but it's the Buffalo Bills, man. Like, for them to go out last week, the Steelers are resting all their starters, much to Phil's chagrin, I'm sure. And Buffalo goes out and says, we're going to play you guys, get us a big lead so we can get you out of here. And they're up, whatever, I forget what it was, 31-7 at the half or something like that. And for them to just put forth that effort, and, we're talking about a team that I think has won like 8 of their last 9. The only loss was that Kyler Murray Hail Mary. They're playing about as well as anybody right now, so I'm intrigued by them. I know they're not playing this weekend, but KC, it feels like they've been kind of sleepwalking. Are they going to pick it up? And then I think Green Bay is interesting because I think Green Bay is ultimately going to have the only home field advantage in the playoffs this year, which is you have to go to Lambeau when it's really freaking cold. There's no fans. The Superdome doesn't matter. Seattle doesn't matter. But going to Lambeau does matter. So I'm really intrigued. My Super Bowl pick was Green Bay over Buffalo. That is going to be official on Fox Sports Radio. So obviously those are 2 teams, Green Bay and Buffalo, that really, really intrigue me.
Man, I think you hit it right on the head there, AT. Those are the teams playing the best football right now. And I didn't mind the Steelers resting their starters against the Browns.
I could talk anything. I'm good.
Yeah,
don't ask me about college baseball, okay?
Yeah, including Calgon Take Me Away, but we won't ever bring up bubble baths with you ever again. Don't worry about that, okay?
Well, I just want to know. I just want to hear more about Matt's OnlyFans page, but we can discuss next week.
Well, that's going to be your guys' business venture together. So I can't wait to see what that's going to be all about.
I'm like Shark Tank. I want 10% for $0. So
download the latest edition of the Aaron Torres podcast anywhere you get your podcast. You can also follow him on Twitter at Aaron_Torres and listen to him on Fox Sports Radio on the weekends. AT, have a great weekend. Talk next week.
Can't never go wrong with a little AT in your life.
That's right. I just can't even imagine an OnlyFans for the 2 of you guys. Wow. All right.
SmackDown OnlyFans brought to you by the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast.
Well, and coming up after the break, I figured out about SmackDown. He is legit. He's really just a mole for the fast food industry here on ESPN Arkansas. He's just PR for fast food. Stay with us.